That is 9 a.m. You can fire away.
Fire away. It's amazing sometimes in our language, fire away, as if we're going to war and firing shots from rifles and cannonballs and stuff. Anyway, that's our language. And so welcome everybody to another day on this retreat. And I've got a picture of everybody in the hall. That's wonderful. And one of the things I'm going to talk about today, and I make this up as usual as I go along, and try not to say the same old things every time, but to add some more information about our wonderful practice of meditation. And it's something which I mentioned in passing yesterday. I said that to be successful in meditation, you have to be quite skilled in the use of your emotions rather than the intellect. Meditation is an emotional journey rather than a thinking and naming and trying to capture things in words type of journey. In other words, you feel your way with your emotions, especially positive emotions, into the meditation world. And that's one of the reasons why, even when we start meditating, it's great to be able to create a sense of positive happiness and joy and peace, or whatever it is, which can inspire you and can hold your mind onto an object, not through force, not through trying to get somewhere, but just enjoying being here. That's one of the big problems in meditation, that because of our world, we always feel we have to make progress, we have goals, we have something we want to achieve. But in meditation, it's something totally different. In meditation, we're not trying to achieve anything which we don't already have. We're trying to be here and trying to really appreciate what it is like to be here, and trying to recognize the sometimes wonderful qualities which we ignore about our present moment and where we are. It is just too easy in our modern world to find faults, with our existence and see all the things wrong, with today and the government and the economy and the health and COVID and all sorts of other stuff. But to be a skilled meditator, you see something beautiful in this moment. And you are at ease with those positive emotions. Even when those positive emotions get so incredibly strong, you get so much joy, so much happiness, even something like peace. Peace is an emotion which many people just don't know of, because there's very little there for the mind to grab onto at first. And because it is something which is so profound, that sometimes people see peace, or peace comes to visit you, and you don't even let her into your house, into your mind. Sometimes we want to analyze peace rather than just let peace be. So this is one of the reasons why during meditation you develop a huge amount of emotional skill and wisdom, which allows you to go even deeper into the mind without any of the negative emotions like fear. Now, yesterday I did talk about some of the hindrances, but there are only some of the hindrances, the traditional 5 hindrances which the Buddha said. But there are others who are more subtle hindrances, and fear is one of them. Sometimes we wonder, what were we afraid of? And in the meditation, one goes to deeper and deeper beautiful states of mind. And the first simile I'm going to bring up now is the simile of when you go to a new place or a new hotel, if you're staying overseas or you're staying in a hotel in Singapore for this retreat. I go to hotels a lot in the past. I'll go to different places to stay, to teach retreats or to give talks. And because you go to a different place, the first night I spend in a new room, even it might be like a 5-star hotel, and the room is really comfortable. Even so, the first night in a new place, I never sleep that well. It's just the nature of the body. It's a new place, and the nature of the body and the mind means it can't really relax as I relax in my old bed where I've slept so many times. But it's usually 1 or 2 days, and you get used to your new apartment, your new bed, your new room. And when you get used to it, you get what I call the experience of familiarity. And I've seen that in our retreat centers, which we go to. And as we go to our retreat center, my retreat center, when people first go there, they don't know what to expect, they don't know what to do, and they're always really quite tense the first day, the first night. It's one of the reasons why I've deliberately tried to be fun, to smile, to be non-threatening, so that people, if they go to a retreat center, it's not that long before they feel they're at home. They feel this is a nice place, a kind place, a welcoming place, a place with no fear, so they can relax there. And soon, I hope that you go to these retreat centers or other places, and then you feel that this is just like your old bedroom, it's your old home. You feel content and unthreatened there. And the next stage after familiarity is this ease. Now you go to your room and it's already, you're calling it my room, my bed, my place. And even though it doesn't belong to you, even though you're just visiting, still you're at ease there. And those three stages, for want of a better word, of recognition, familiarity, and ease. You notice that if you go to a new job, we need to know who's who and where the toilets are and where the water cooler is and what you should be doing, how you should be dressed. All of those three stages happen so often in our life. The recognition, the familiarity, and the ease. And try to get to that state of ease as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And that does take, the emotion of fearlessness and is often an emotion of trust. And one way to establish that emotion of fearlessness is this is a very simple rule. And again, you've heard it before, the simple rule of the 70% rule, 70%. And this originated when I was a school teacher and had to set the first examination in maths for my students at a high school in Devon. And I didn't know what to do. And so when you don't know what to do, you always ask someone who's seen it, who's done it before, so they can give you some advice. And the teacher I asked gave some wonderful advice, which I extended to other parts of my life and other parts of my teaching. And that teacher said two things. Don't set the examination too hard. That's probably one of the worst things you can do. If it's a very tough test, and so the students only get 10, 20, 30% on average, all of those students will come out of that exam thinking they can't do maths. They'll lose their sense of encouragement, their sense of ability, and they will fear maths in the future. And they'll think that 20, 30% is a failure. It's not a failure, it's just the teacher set the exam too hard. It's not their fault. So don't set it too hard. And next, don't set it too easy. If everyone gets 100%, 95%, then the exam is pretty worthless. Said try and set the average score to 70%, 70%. Because if a child gets 70% in an exam, that's not a bad score. People think, yeah, they can do maths, or they can do whatever you're examined on. And the 30% where they get it wrong, that is the most important part of the exam for the teacher. That's where you find the weak points of your students. That's where you find what they didn't understand, what I thought they'd understood, but they didn't quite get it yet. So the next tests, I can focus on those weak points. When we look upon life, whether it's a meditation or just life in general, it's a huge learning experience where we understand about the nature of ourselves and relationships and life, and that we're growing and getting the insights, the understandings to make us a better, wiser human beings. If we understand that that is an important part of life, then we understand that 30% where we make mistakes, that is like the cold face, for want of a better word, the cutting edge of our life. That is where we learn, where we grow, where we develop. So I said set it for 70%. If you set it for 70%, and the kids get about 70%, then you're being a good teacher. You're being able to take those children further in their understanding of maths with encouragement, but also finding out their weak points. And I thought that that was just a wonderful simile for life in general. And because of the context of meditation, it's a wonderful simile for meditation. So don't try to be perfect, but don't try and be stupid. Just find this wonderful place where, yeah, you're growing and you're learning. You're learning from the mistakes, but you're also being encouraged that the meditation is working, getting some peace, some happiness, some joy, some insight. And so that becomes the very, very best. To be able to do that, it means we're taking away this emotion of fear. I can't do this. I've got to prove myself. You don't need to prove yourself at all in meditation. You need to sort of be here, see what's here, see what you have, and then work from that. So because of that, I did mention one type of meditation where to some people who find they have a lot of pain or a lot of disappointment, they've got no energy, they're just all sorts of negative stuff going on in their mind when they close their eyes and sit down to meditate. And everybody has that sometimes. I did mention that sometimes I feel really tired, exhausted, or last few days really hot. It's a cooler day today again, so thank you for that. But when you are sort of feeling not sort of tip-top shape, then you do the Empress 3 questions meditation, which is it's not a different type of meditation. It's actually getting to the core of what meditation is without too much extra detail involved. The simplicity is sometimes the best. Often it is the best. Sometimes we complicate our life and our meditation way too much. And of course, the Empress 3 questions meditation is so obvious that now is the only time we ever have in the whole world. That now is all the past is just memories, and sometimes those memories are inaccurate. You cannot trust the past. You cannot even believe your own memories of what happened. Sometimes I was certain that I did something, and then I checked out later and I didn't. I said, how did that happen? It is because when you remember something from the past, you're not actually remembering the past. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. The last time you remembered it was remembering the previous time you remembered it. And so there was this game which we used to play at school, and I don't know why they called it Chinese Whispers, but you may have known that game where there's a long line of kids in the schoolroom, and the teacher whispers something to the first kid, and that kid has to whisper it to the next kid in line, who whispers it to the next kid in line, who whispers it to the next kid in line. When it gets to the end of the line, that what the last kid thinks they heard or says they heard is sometimes totally different from what was told to the first kid. Every time it's repeated, it's altered slightly. That's the same thing with memory. And of course, my favorite example of that was something which really happened during the First World War in Europe. And you know that in military, there's a whole line of command which allows for this distortion of information to happen very easily. It's the hierarchy. And so the Major General told the Lieutenant General, send reinforcements, we're going to advance. Send reinforcements, we're going to advance. And the Lieutenant General told the Colonel told his Lieutenant Colonel told the Major told the Captain told the Sergeant told the Corporal, and the Corporal told the troops. And by this time it had changed slightly. And to understand this, in that time, in the 1914 to 18, the British currency was pounds, shillings, and pennies. And so the order, send reinforcements, we're going to advance, became send 3 and 4 pence, we're going to a dance. But that's really funny, especially when this is war and people are killing each other. And so because of that, you understand even how our memories of the past are altered and distorted. So they cannot be trusted. And to me, that's not scary. That's a sort of a great excuse for letting go of the past, for not really trusting it. But I can trust what's happening in the present moment. And I think, why am I afraid of the present moment? Why do I realize so much about the past? To think something really bad happened? And why does it always have to leave a strong residue? Why can't I just let it go, leave it alone, let it disappear? People say it leaves indelible scars on your mind and sometimes even on your body. Does it? Are these things indelible? Cannot we let them go? And if you have the confidence and the emotional strength, you can let these things go. You can move away from them. And so they hardly bother you at all. There's more important emotions to deal with right now. Of course, the other thing is worrying about the future. How long's COVID going to last? What's it going to do to the economy? What is that lump in my breast? You don't know what it is. It came. You can go. Sometimes even doctors don't know exactly what's happening. We have our theories because those theories are often being revised because basically this is the truth. I think you should know that everybody's body is different. We have some common features, common ways we work, but no two bodies are the same. So no two tumors are the same. No two cancers can be the same. They fall into a general type of cancer, mostly because where it arises, but no two are the same. So even doctors are trying the best. Well, it should be like this, it should be like that, but there's too many anomalies to actually to trust that, which is one of the reasons why that instead of being afraid of the future, we can change our emotions to looking at our future as being the adventure. Like when you were reading a book, a nice novel, you don't just rush to the end of the novel to find out what happens in the end. You enjoy the suspense, you enjoy the journey, because that's the novel, that's where you're learning. Just to look to, what happens in the end, we'll be missing the path. And it's the same with I'm not quite sure these days because I'm not that computer literate. But if you see a movie on TV, I'm not sure if you can just fast forward and see what happens in the end. I'm not sure. Even so, that I'm sure that the movies haven't changed that much in all the years. It's usually boy meets girl or girl meets boy, one of those two scenarios. And there's some war and just their romance just gets interrupted by something. And then eventually this is the bad guys, but usually the good guys win just at the very end, just by the skin of their teeth. But they're going to be okay in the end. That's the movies. I used to watch these monster movies when I was young. There's one thing I always noticed about monster movies. I'm going off track here, but please excuse me, but this is a nice insight. In the monster movies, just the monsters, the demons, whoever it is, I don't know why, but they always seem to attack the beautiful girls. If you were sort of fat and old, the monsters would leave you alone. I don't know why. Because that was just called entertainment. Anyway, let's go back to the emotions of meditation. After a while, one learns how to make a nice peaceful mind. And again, peaceful mind, I mentioned in all those guided meditations that one becomes aware of your peaceometer, the peace in your mind. And now I'm going to introduce it's a guided meditation, I must admit, but it's only about 2 minutes of guided meditation. Don't change your posture. As you're sitting is fine. But I just want you to listen as I say this word, peace. Peace. If you wish, you can close your eyes. Peace. Peace. And see if you can feel peace. peace, 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 peace. Can you feel the peace? You can open your eyes now. By saying that word, peace, your mind just automatically, it's nothing to do with you, it's just how your mind works. It goes towards the meaning of that word. It goes towards the emotional truth of peace. You start to feel that peace. You start to know her very well. And peace becomes something you can turn to so easily. You don't need to meditate in the sense of crossing your legs and sitting on the floor and doing all these other stuff. You can just say peace to yourself. Just visualize it. Make it real for you in your mind. And it's there for you. You're at peace. And that's something you can do at any time during your day. Or at night time, when people asked me yesterday, it was a very good question. They couldn't sleep well at night. How can you go to sleep easily when sometimes you're in pain, physical pain, or just burdened by all your responsibilities and duties in the world? How can you just let go? Rah! I know I'm supposed to do it, but I can't do it. Rah! I know it's going to hurt me because I can't go to sleep and I'm going to be tired in the morning. What should I do? And that's a wonderful little, very quick, easy meditation to do. It's peace. 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 You can feel it. Or any other time in the meditation to create peace in your mind so quickly. And obviously, the more times you do it, the more times you practice it, the more you get to know what peace is, and it becomes like a friend, always there for you. And you don't need to have the email number or the WhatsApp address or whatever. You just think of it, or just not think, that's the wrong word. You just bring it to your mind. You trust it, you're with it, and then you're there. So anyway, I was supposed to be talking about the Empress 3 Questions meditation, but I don't mind. My mind is going off and doing interesting things like explaining how to create peace in your mind. Even during the meditation, it's not going anywhere. Well, stop watching the breath, watch peace, and have some peace in your mind for a while. And then whatever other meditations you're doing, it really enhances it. So anyway, the Empress 3 Questions, especially if you've got a really unfortunate body today, or you're sick, or tummy ache, or whatever, then you just now the time you have, present moment. It's such a truth. It should be easy for everybody to understand that. And the next thing to do is, what are you aware of? What's actually in your mind right now? You don't judge it. You don't say, I don't want this, I want something better. You don't try and hold on to it. You just, it's here, it's now. And all you ever do with it is to care for it. And the idea of care is a very beautiful word. Sometimes I even do that as a type of meditation, because caring again is another emotion. The emotion of looking at something and respecting it, allowing it to be. Or as the way I say it for my own father, because that has emotional weight for me, is that's W-E-I-G-H-T. Is to say the door of my heart's open to you. No matter what you are, no matter who you are. And that's unconditional love and care for this moment. It's one of the reasons why, I always mess around with words like mindfulness, call it kindfulness, add a little bit extra to it. That's another little word for those who teach mindfulness, to call it unconditional mindfulness. Because the unconditionality of what you're being aware of means you allow it to come in. You don't go and chase it away. And I always feel that no matter what I'm experiencing, it's like here for a reason. It's come to teach me something. And I'm really missing out if I chase it away. So instead of whatever emotion, feeling, experience I have to deal with right now, come in. And being able to care for it means it lessens its intensity. It's not so harmful anymore. And this comes from an old teaching of the Buddha saying that if it's like suffering or physical, emotional distress, it always has two parts to it. One part is the physical pain, and the other part is the emotional reaction pain. And of those two, the emotional reaction is always the worst. That is the one which hurts the most. And it's really hard to actually explain that, but I'm sure that some of you have done that before. You've been in quite a lot of agony for one reason or another, and then you give some emotional support. You care for your body, or someone cares for you. They tell you a joke, or they give you some confidence in this moment that life is not so bad. So you don't react so negatively to enormous pain. And if you can do that, if you do that, you find out, wow, the pain just lessens in its intensity to maybe 10% or 5% of what it was like before. And it becomes easy to bear. It is the emotional reaction which is the most painful on difficult experience of suffering in life. So when we do that, now is the most important time. Whatever is in front of you right now, whatever you're experiencing now, you don't have to name it, you don't have to capture it, you don't have to even explain it to yourself. It's an emotion, a feeling. Care for it. Let it be. Open the door of your heart to it. Smile at it if you like. And this is not just something you do, but it's like a welcoming, a fearlessness. The emotions are being trained to actually to be open to whatever happens. And sometimes people think, oh my goodness, Ajahn Brahm, might be okay for you to do that. You're a pretty healthy young man. Young man. I made a slip there, didn't I? You're a very healthy old man. But nevertheless, that when you do open your heart to whatever you're experiencing, with the pain, the difficulty, whatever it is occurring, you actually find that again, the pain lessens. You're more at peace. The emotional part is taken away. The emotional inflammation, the extra which you add to it, is removed. And the body can deal with the pain pretty quickly. Now we all know that things come and things go. That's always with pain. It never lasts that long. Things that it does last that long, it's because you're making it last that long. You're trying to get rid of it instead of just understanding it, getting to know it. To get to know it, you have to be with it and be its friend. And when you're its friend, you get to know all about the unpleasant emotions of life. They don't last that long. You have the wonderful emotions of life. And they're always there for you. I don't know why it is that people often, they choose negativity in their life. It's weird. I've always had a very positive mind, and to know about that. Well, it was many years ago. Many years ago when I was an attendant to one of the monks in England, and they were going to teach a retreat. And this was in the town of, it was called Doncaster, I think. And it was Doncaster was like a coal mining town, I think. And it was in the time of Margaret Thatcher had closed down all the coal mines in that part of England. And it meant that most people were out of work. It was a very depressed town. And I remember the locals were surprised. They said, well, you're coming on a weekend to Doncaster? On a weekend, people usually leave the town to go somewhere more beautiful and pretty. But no, it was a town. We were trying to do something good for the Buddhists in that town. And in the morning, we went for a walk, and our host asked, where did you go for a walk? I went to the gardens, and we went to the flower beds, and we went to all the beautiful parts. And the host said, yeah, that's typical of you, because there was a monk who went there earlier, And he went to the industrial area, the canal, the gas works. And we were laughing. Why would anybody want to go down to those places? You know, if you're visiting and going for a walk somewhere, I like going to the beautiful parts. It's the beautiful parts attract me, not the sort of the negative parts. And so that's the same with my mind. You always tend to be attracted to the beautiful parts of the mind. So you have an experience, and sometimes a bad experience, you can always find something good in it. Instead of seeing the 2 bad bricks, you always see the 998 good bricks. Instead of seeing the dog poo, dog shit, as something which is smelly and difficult, you see it as fertilizer. You can always see something wonderful in whatever you have to do in life, which means you're developing this beautiful positive emotion of being attracted to the beauty in life, or what the Buddha called the perception of the beautiful. And so, you know, that for those of you who you're on retreat today, yes, I'm on retreat. Wow. I don't have to do so much. I don't have to worry about my family. I don't have to worry about the work. I can just sit down and just have a wonderful meditation today. For those of you, who are usually the teachers, today you've got a day off. I'm doing that work for you. You can just sit down and relax to the max. And enjoy the fact that you don't have to do anything. It's weird, isn't it, that you'd think that busy people would be able to take that time, that opportunity, that beauty to have some rest. Why is it that many, many, many people are always busy? Even when they're just meditating, always thinking or writing their biography or figuring out the meaning of life. Why do you do nothing and enjoy the beauty of just being here? And again, just doing nothing. That was one of those perceptions which I've told you so many times. When I used to go traveling, go to these huge cities like San Francisco or New York or LA and London and Toronto and where else? Seoul, Jakarta, Singapore, KL. When you went to those cities, I said, it's really, really, really rare in those big cities to see a human being. Hardly any human beings in Jakarta or Singapore or KL. Lots of human goings, lots of human doings, but very few human beings. So what a shame that is. Sometimes you have to be a going, you have to be a doing. But today, you have this wonderful opportunity just to be a being, just being here. Not developing your meditation to go to jhanas and go to nibbana. Not doing stuff so you can become more wise and have some more teaching tools for the next time you get up there and start teaching how to meditate. You're not trying to gain anything or grow. You're just being, that's all. And when you learn how to be, life becomes so easy, so peaceful. You can feel it. You can feel the emotion of peace, the emotion of just freedom. That's another one of my favorite emotions, freedom. Because there's the different types of freedom. Usually I say this when I go into the insight practices. People want to be free. And freedom, real freedom, is a great bliss, a great joy. What is freedom? And that's when, reading the Buddhism and understanding how the Buddha taught, you see the 2 types of freedom. One is real freedom. The other one is just a fake type of freedom. The fake type of freedom is called the freedom of desire. The freedom of desire. So desire, you can desire whatever you want and go for it and aim for it and reach out for it and travel for it and do all the things so you can have your freedom of desire. Whatever you want to do, go and do it. And for many people, that's how they live their lives. If they're wealthy, if they're talented, if they're fit, and they have enough funds to be able to go travel or go and see this or do that. The freedom of desire. But you find that's not much freedom at all. You get bored. And actually not bored, you get tired. Tired of running around searching for this desire, following that, wanting. See, you're getting this, more and that, more of this, more of that. But there's something else, which is another type of freedom, which is essential to meditation and which is essential to the happiness in your life. And that is the freedom from desire. So desire is not affecting you anymore. The desire is like a virus. It infects you and it makes you hot and that stops you being able to rest. You always have to seek out another wanting, another desire, another craving, another goal, another thing to achieve. And what one really wants you to achieve and even to share with others is the freedom from desire. So you're going to sit down, be quiet, just enjoy this moment. There's no desire which is going to pull you away or stop you being still. There's nothing you want in the whole world. If you did find a bottle, you rubbed it and a genie came out. And the genie said, Ajahn Brahm, you have 3 wishes according to the tradition. What would you want? And I'd answer, nothing. But I can give you anything. Nothing. I can get your new retreat center. No, thank you. I could, I don't know, get rid of all of the weeds in your monastery. No, thank you. The freedom from desire is so powerful. It allows you to rest and be peaceful and appreciate and enjoy what a monastery is there for. The peace. You can feel the peace. You feel the power of the freedom from desire. You can feel the incredible stillness and profundity of contentment. And people feel, oh, there's so much things to do in the world. That's a problem. People are doing so much in the world and they're screwing it up, making it worse, making it hotter, making it just so many more footprints. So it's amazing if you can just sit down, be free from desire and feel what that's like. Of course, freedom from desire, again, it is not a thought. The thought, the words are just pointing to something. It's what you feel afterwards, the emotion. That's real freedom. Freedom, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't need anything more. They say, well, there's many things which you're lacking. Well, I have enough. Instead of perceiving what I don't have, I perceive what I do have. What I do have is more than satisfying for me. So I have freedom from desire. But you can make it bigger, better, easier. Oh yeah, been there, done that. Now I'm happy where I am. And so that freedom from desire, that deep contentment, that allows you to have some rest. But it also allows you simple things like being able to love your partner and your kids. Your kids are never good enough. That's really a weird thing. I remember my dear old parents, they always wanted me to improve. I think that's what they're supposed to do as parents. Oh, come on, you can do better, son. You can get higher marks. Well, I was getting pretty high marks already, and it's still not good enough for you. Well, no, of course it's more than good enough for us. We just want you to do better. Where's the end of that? There is no end to it. You can always do better. Well, the partner, your husband, your wife, you look at them, they're far from perfect. I don't know why I say these things as a monk, but yeah, your wife is far from perfect, but then you're far from perfect as well. That's why you are a good match to imperfect people. Learning together, accepting one another, growing together. Love, metta, compassion. It's impossible, it's stupid to have loving kindness to someone who's perfect. That's no challenge, you don't learn much from that. But being kind to someone, forgiving them when they're very imperfect. And say, I just love you for who you are. I don't want you to change. I care for you. That's all. And that's something very profound about that. That's a big emotion. the emotion of acceptance. And how many of you have felt that acceptance from somebody? So you know you're imperfect, you've done things which are wrong, and just sometimes you're lazy and whatever your faults are, but the other person will love you anyway. Wow, that just really hits a deep emotional chord inside of you. And that is what we do in meditation. We love ourselves, even though we're imperfect. My meditation's no good, I go to sleep, I'm restless, I can't do this. No, love that. Be at peace with it. This is what's happening right now. That's all you have, this moment and this experience. Your only duty in meditation is to care for it. I mean, really care for it. Open the door of your heart to this moment, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. And of course, in all the things which I said I teach, I try out myself. It's how I live. And a lot of times there's some incredible experiences, really deep pain, disappointments or whatever, and you love them. You learn to just sit there and be with this. You're not in deep meditations or nimittas or jhanas, you're just here, and it's not that good. But then you say, door of my heart's open to you, come in. And you really care for it to the max. Whatever you do, you have to do it full on, 100%. And then you find it changes. You find it changes by itself. You don't change it. You care for it. It's like the monster who came into your meditation or into your life starts smiling at you. It becomes your best friend, a dear friend. All the monsters of my life, all the failures, disappointments, pains, injuries, whatever, they become your friends. Literally. And you love them all. And they don't threaten you anymore. There is wonderful emotional embracing of things. That's why that when you do loving kindness meditation, may all beings be happy and well, not just beings, all events in your life, all experiences, all things which you feel negative about. If you want to sort of heal the world, you don't heal the world by getting rid of all the negative stuff. It just makes it stronger, makes it more of a problem, creates more of that somewhere else. But if you do this wonderful acceptance, making peace with things, wow, peace really takes off. It takes off in your meditation. Just sitting there and just, now's your only time you have. So you're not worried about what you're going to do next. You're not thinking, oh, I've got to do my breath meditation now. It's this very unclear command. I've got to do my breath meditation now. What you're really saying, I've got to do my breath meditation next. And also meditation, please, there is no such word as next. You only have now. So banish that word from the vocabulary of meditation. There is no next. There is not a few moments ago, it's only this now. Out of meditation, yes, there is next, there is tomorrow, there is what you're going to do this afternoon. But in meditation, when you sort of are sitting down, please, no next, no yesterday, just now. And you feel this wonderful sense of calm. And whatever you are experiencing now, just love it to the max, even the unpleasant stuff. Don't think you can't do it. You'd be surprised at what this mind can do, simply because you're taking away the emotional negativity. Physical negativity, the pain, disturbance, whatever, has to be there sometimes. But the emotional negativity is gone. And you're valuing this, you're learning it. You're seeing this has a value somewhere, that I'm learning from this. It's the teacher to me. That was the meaning when Ajahn Chah used to say to me, just the mosquitoes, he said, call them your teacher. Anything which is irritating you. And those mosquitoes, they really irritated me in time. There's hundreds of them. No mosquito repellent, no coils, no mosquito screens on the huts. You just had no choice. They were going to bite you. And I remember those old mosquitoes. Sometimes you had your hand up And you'd let the mosquito bite. Okay, come on, I'm a monk, I've got compassion. Come on, have a drink, mosquito. And so you'd let them, you see them just come and land on your hand, and they'd land there and put their nose into your skin. You know, it's sort of irritated a little bit. You know what those blooming mosquitoes did? The first time they put their nose down into your skin, they didn't like the taste. So they walked a couple of steps to the left or the right, and they did another exploratory drill. And they usually put 3 or 4 holes in your hand before they found the part which they liked, and they drank that. So I thought they were really taking advantage of my kindness. I could have swatted them if I was a layperson, not a Buddhist, but they took advantage of that. But it didn't really hurt that much and gave me a nice little story for talks in the future. But Ajahn Chah, when you complained about those mosquitoes, he would say, call them your teacher, Ajahn Mosquito. And that was just so brilliant. The things I didn't like, he said, they become your teachers. So when you have an experience in meditation, which you feel is a bit too much for me, just stay with it. In the moment, this is happening, it's real. And so just open the door of your heart to this moment. You learn from it. And you learn so much, you become free from it. You're no longer a victim of the mosquito bite. You're no longer a victim of the pain or the fever. You're no longer a victim of the cancer. You know that you're not the body. Now you're watching, being with this thing. Open the door of your heart to it. You're learning so much about life, real life, what's actually happening now, not the theories, but the emotions of life. The theories you can read in books. The theories you can give lectures on. And the theories you can argue with other people on. But the emotional world, you feel that is far more real. And when you are very skilled in your emotional world, it becomes pretty easy to meditate. You sit down there, you don't think what I'm supposed to do. You say, what's happening? What are you doing? And how do you feel? What are the emotions right now? And by developing just a simple emotion like peace, or like kindness, open the door of your heart to whatever's happening right now, and feeling it really fully. You find, that's metta meditation. Open the door of your heart to this moment. Oh, that's powerful. Or just letting this moment be. That's renunciation. Or just being here. If you're here, you're not restless. If you're here, you're not tired. If you're here in this moment, it just grows into, please excuse me, to great nimittas and jhanas. To go into those deeper meditations, again, they're powerful. Where does that power come from? It is an emotional power. The power of bliss. Just like when you're crying, being disappointed. Imagine crying with just sheer happiness and bliss. Oh, this is just so great, so wonderful. Because those emotions in deep meditation are powerful, it means you cannot control them. They're more powerful than you, your will. You have to let the will go and just enjoy the bliss, the power of these great states of inner ecstasy. And they just come to you. You feel happy and really happy and really, really happy. Just in this moment, you don't try and attain them. That's one of the biggest obstacles to meditation. When you have an idea or goal and you're trying to reach that goal, you become a human going somewhere, a human doing something, instead of a human being here. And when you're a human being here, it just gets sometimes just so powerful, so beautiful, so amazing. But don't allow fear, because these are emotions which you're not familiar with, you're not at ease with. You have to recognize them, therefore they're safe, and just let them be. And soon you become so at ease with these powerful emotions. When you see nimittas in the mind, the body's That's what you're used to. That's the usual place you hang out with your body, with your five senses. And now the sixth sense is becoming powerful, and it's very unusual, that sixth sense for you. But it's really, 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 really safe. It's the best place you could possibly be. And, I'll mention this story to you. When I was over in Sri Lanka about a couple of years ago, one of the followers over there, I was staying in a hotel and this was part of a conference just at the end of the day, just taking a bit of a rest. And the message came in from the hotel desk is, one of your followers wants to say hello to you, pay respects to you. I said, okay. I said, oh, yeah, okay. So I only thought that one person was going to come up, but this whole group came up, about 20 of them in a small hotel room. I was supposed to have a bit of a rest. Anyway, they all came up. But then he told me this wonderful story. The one of, he was a doctor over in Sri Lanka, and the one of his members of his meditation group were meditating, following my instructions. He would very often get into really, really deep meditations, into jhanas. He was a very skilled meditator, this man, this disciple of the doctor. And this doctor decided to do an experiment on him without telling him. So when the student was in a jhana, you could see that he was really, really still. And you can pretty much test. I think he maybe touched him. If you react to that touch, if you can feel that touch, you're not in the jhanas. And the doctor opened up a little bit of medical equipment. He sort of swabbed the man's arm with alcohol, just to sterilize it, and got out a scalpel and tried to make an incision in this man's arm. He had all the gear there. If the incision worked, you could stitch it up afterwards and disinfect it and put a little bandage on it. But he said no matter how hard he pressed, no matter how sharp that scalpel was, it would not penetrate the skin. It just wouldn't go in. And he said he just did that, and he videoed it as an example of just what happens when you get into deep meditations, that you can't even be cut by anything. Amazing just how safe you are. I don't know how that works, I must admit. But I know it's said in the sutras that, that in these deep meditations, wow, you're incredibly safe. So that takes away that emotion of fear. You don't have to be afraid. Let these things happen. Let these great experiences of peace and freedom just dominate. So you feel just incredibly peaceful. And just to explain it to you even further, what is a person aware of when they're actually in a jhana? It is the emotion of bliss. These are emotional objects. You're not actually watching the breath anymore. You're not watching the beautiful lights in a jhana. Sorry, the beautiful lights of the nimittas. You just go deeper and deeper in. You let go more and more. And you have this incredible emotional bliss. Really peaceful, very still. It's very, very powerful. And it's not what you do. You can't control them at all. You just enjoy them to the max. So if you learn how just to develop that emotional skill of trusting things like peace, it feels safe. Trusting the beauty of kindness. Open the door of your heart to this moment. Just seeing what it's there to teach you. It becomes a great friend. It becomes very still. You don't do anything. You don't do anything, the mind doesn't move. The mind doesn't move, the body gets so incredibly still. And the awareness is so incredibly strong. Sometimes people make the mistake, they think that in the deep meditations like jhanas, that you're unaware. Oh my goodness, how wrong that is. Your awareness is stronger than ever. And it's hard to get words. So that's why I coined the word superpower mindfulness. They're really, really incredibly strong. Just like Superman can just lift a mountain or something. Your mindfulness is so much more intense, powerful, beautiful than it is just in your normal life. It's just got the mind focused, powerful, incredibly enjoyable. This is why just the emotional world is actually the way into the deep jhanas, not the intellectual world. But don't go giving yourself instructions. Don't go working it all out with your intellectual mind and with the labels. The labels are just so, you run out of labels after a while in these deep meditations. You don't have words for it. That's why that sometimes when you find someone like an Ajahn Chah, it's obviously been there so many times, he's made words, these deep states of meditation, and can describe them to you. Wow, amazing. But, for most of us, we just don't have the language. The words just run out early on. And so we have to feel our way in. Because we can feel the beauty, the peace, feel the love in these deep meditations. And it's there. You're getting into some great states. And people sometimes complain to me, say, "Oh, Ajahn Brahm, yeah, I know that you monks do all this sort of stuff, but we can't do it." And I said, "No, you can. Some of you will. I don't know, this retreat or the next retreat or some retreat or when you're by yourself. Give these instructions because they're powerful and they work. And so one day it will happen and you know what to do. Enjoy it to the max." So there we go. Oh, that time went quickly. It's already 9:57 almost. It's go with the flow time, toilet time. So I will pause now for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes or whatever. So those of you who need to go to the loo, now is the time to go to toilets. And just care for your body. Look after it. Make sure it feels safe and feels comfortable. There we go. I don't know why this always happens. Just before the talk, I thought, what the heck am I going to talk about today? And then once you sort of get going to this, the talk takes over and the whole hour goes by. I hope it was useful for you anyway. Giving some tips about how to meditate easily. Okay, I'll have a glass of water. Dum-da-dum. Okay, this one. Oh, yeah. Very good.
Shivi, you want to greet Ajahn?
Sorry? Hi.
How are you?
I am excellent. Very good health. Very happy.
Very happy.
Yeah, having a wonderful time. Yeah, I'm just, what's happening today? I don't know. Lunch coming up soon. Stay in this moment. Still got my beautiful, beautiful cave, which I just came out from, just sitting meditation there. And then just come out to talk to you.
So happy to see you. We're supposed to be in Genting. It's very cold there.
Really? Oh.
We're supposed to be in Genting if there's no COVID, but I'm still very happy to meet you here.
Oh, yeah, this is more than good enough.
Yes, it's very good.
And sometimes you just, when I close my eyes and meditate, I don't know actually physically where I am. Because, you just go out from the room you're in, into your body, then into your mind. And it can be anywhere in the whole world. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience, especially when you do travel. You wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, and one of the first things I train myself to do is, where am I today? What country am I in? Because, I'm in Singapore today. Or, no, I'm in Canada today. And then you just, but what's the difference?
Yes.
To me, Singapore, Canada, Genting, or KL and the BGF in PJ. What's the difference?
But I see myself as a very good opportunity for me to do my self-retreat at home. But first, yes, this is the first time because I never think I would be able to be really 8 precept.
Oh, yeah.
No internet, no Facebook, nothing, and just on my retreat mode. But I make it. I'm so happy.
Excellent. So you're actually taking control of, things like the internet. You don't have to be a slave to all those people who send you emails or tweet to you or whatever. You're an independent person. You just tell people out of kindness before, I'm going to retreat for 6 days or whatever. So, any emails or internet or something, I won't answer.
No.
Yeah, and that's good. And that's you telling what to do. And then you feel that, you are more powerful than the internet, than the emails or the phone calls or the WhatsApp or whatever. And it's the same with your food. You've got enough to eat in the morning or lunchtime. You don't have to eat in the evening.
No, I didn't eat anything. So I'm very happy. It's a very good experience. Thank you very much, Ajahn.
No trouble. I'm very glad you do that. It's wonderful.
Hi,
Hi. People do have power, but they don't use it. They always feel they have to spend their life pleasing others. And when they end up pleasing others, they're always too much of a servant for others. Instead of learning how to say, well, this is what I can do for others. You do help others a lot. But then there's time, this is for myself. Or, no, to be more accurate, this is for my no self. This is for my meditation, for my spiritual life. And giving that opportunity is very, very helpful. Sometimes we have nice discussions amongst the monks. And one of those discussions is something which Ajahn Brahmali was saying the other day, and got it from me from years ago, was that sometimes we always think, oh, we're all interconnected. You can be if you want to be, but sometimes I turn off and go into my cave and just totally disconnect from everything. To go off grid, as they say, to be disconnected. Just to go in there and just go inside your body, go inside your mind, and disconnect from the whole world. Oh, amazing. So when you actually do that and disconnect from life, you realize that you have this choice to connect with the world, to serve, to help out. You're not a prisoner of the world. You're not a prisoner of the news, not a prisoner of COVID. You can actually just go into your body and mind and just escape from everything. And that idea of like being free from desire is a wonderful power which people just don't use enough. So great, you're on a retreat at home, you're disconnected. Well done. Okie dokie. Is it time to do the meditation? We set our boundaries. Yay, exactly.
yes,
Set your boundaries and set them wisely. And once you set the boundaries, make sure those boundaries are there because they're protecting you and they're protecting others. So enjoy them. Okay, I'm going to set some boundaries now so we can do a quiet meditation for 20 minutes or so. Okay? Okay or not, ready or not, here we go. So if you like to sit down, close your eyes. And set your boundaries. What other people are doing, any noise you hear, anything from outside of your body and mind, it's none of my business. And anything from the past and future, that too is none of my business. The only business I have is what's happening now. First of all, just learning how to get a nice posture, relaxing your body. So how are your legs now? How do they feel? Can you keep the legs like this for the next 20 minutes? Or more if you're sitting longer. Because I'm not used to sitting in a chair. When I do this, I realize, my goodness, my posture is terrible. Because I haven't been watching my body. So now I watch my body. My body tells me I've got to sort of adjust my legs and my butt. So I'm going to fidget. And when I was at school, I always got told off for fidgeting. So no, I'm just being kind to my body, being compassionate. And that's so much better. I can feel my legs and they feel good. It's almost as if they're saying, thank you. Thank you for caring for us enough to be aware and to move us to a much better position. Go through the body awareness a little bit quicker today because we've got more to do. Make sure the butt is okay. And my neck was a bit itchy, so I gave it a scratch. Get the back nice and comfortable. He wants to sit up straight again today. Oh, that feels good. Check out all the inner parts of my body, digestive tract, the tummy, lungs. Just making sure everything is fine. Stomach. It's got a bit of gas in there, I feel. Just from breakfast this morning. There's not much, it's fine. Go right up the front of your body. And for the women, please pause when you get to your breasts. There's a terrible disease, breast cancer. And sometimes you can catch it early. You can catch it, not the scans, but you can know there's something a bit out of balance there. You become very mindful and sensitive to your own body. You know that there's something which is not quite relaxed, for want of a better word. And if you experience that, stay there. Zoom in, focus in on that part of your body. Not with fear. The emotion of fear just makes things worse. The emotion of kindness. Opening the door of your heart to this feeling. If you do the kindness properly, you'll find the feeling changes. What was just a bit of a disturbing feeling becomes so nice, so peaceful, so warm, as your body does its own healing. You feel it. And that simile of being lost up in the mountains in the mist. You know this is going in the correct direction. Trust that feeling, you know it's going in the correct direction. Things are relaxing, becoming much more at ease. Wow, this is good. And then you don't have to go along with me if you're finding any part of this useful, stay there. Then I just go up to my shoulders, relax them. Down my arms. Down to my hands. My hands in a good position today. Up to my neck. To my head, my face. I feel those sensations around my eyes and my mouth. My emotions are pretty peaceful. Can't see any fear there, or anger, or irritation. I know that by the feelings around my muscles around the eyes and mouth. It's like people can see if you have any of those negative emotions by the way your face is configured. I relax all of that. And then I can feel my whole body all connected up together. The vehicle in which I live in this life grows older. Maybe, I don't know if it's weaker. Some areas it is. I'm caring for it. I feel it all relax. Get this tingling feeling all over. It's starting the delight of relaxation. Feeling the body feels good. Of course, I can feel that quite easily because I've developed that awareness of that feeling for so many years. I really recommend it. Enjoy the delight of bodily relaxation. That delight is an emotion. It takes the body to even more ease and relaxation. I recognize this. I'm familiar with it. And I'm at ease. Which takes the relaxation deeper and deeper. Feels good. Really good. Whole body at ease. Then to relax the mind. Peace. 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 And mindfulness listens to what the mind experiences after I say that word. Peace. 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 Delight of peace. Delightful peace. Delightful peace. You can repeat it to yourself if you wish, till you don't need the word anymore, because the mind has what the word was describing. I'm going to have to be quiet now for 5 or 6 minutes. peace, peace, peace. How does this feel emotionally? Getting close to the end of the meditation for me. The joy you feel inside. Right now. Slowly move from inside to this shell, which is my body. Start to feel the legs and the butt and the back and the hands and the head. They're all so comfortable. I feel them with my mind. I slowly open my eyes and smile. To end this short meditation. Don't know if I didn't guide you enough. Hopefully I did. I was just getting off on it myself. Sorry. But anyway, I will now wish you all the best for your lunch and for your afternoon session with Ajahn Brahmali. I go and say hello to all the wonderful, kind people who brought lunch to our monastery today. And thank you again for giving me the privilege to teach. Happy meditating.
Thank you.